It's Shel C from Paper Octio Studio, and today I'm sharing with you my Tag It Tuesday tag that I made for Cards and More by Sherry blog. She has a linky party on her blog every month, and it's on Tuesday, obviously. and It was actually last week, but I missed it because I was ill, so I'm catching up with everything I missed this week. The party stays up forever, so you can always add to it. So I decided to play with my Inktense blocks, and so I just scribbled them on my manila tag there, as you saw. And then I'm using a brush and some gesso, just white gesso, because I want to make a pastel looking type color. The challenge for this month's Tag It Tuesday blog thingy was to use the color rose quartz, which is one of the spring colors of the year from the Pantone, and then also to use hearts. Well, I'm not going to make something Valentine-y because that's over. So I'm going to make more of a spring look I was going to use pastel colors. So I just blended my Inktense blocks with gesso to tone it down. Then I'm using some of that leftover gesso with a flower stencil and just adding a few random flower silhouettes to my tag just for more texture and interest on the background. Still working on the background, so. That looked kind of cool, but they didn't stand out very much, so I decided to use a watercolor brush with the blocks. And this is one nice thing about the blocks is that there's no wood on the outside like the pencils, so you can just use them as if they're kind of a watercolor palette. And so I just decided to highlight a few of those little flower silhouettes with a little bit of extra color. And I'm just using plain water and a watercolor brush and then just rubbing it right on the side of the block while it's inside the little case. That's the way I use them the most often, because I also have the Derwent Inktense pencils. So these were actually given to me anonymously. They just arrived in the mail one day, and I don't know who they are from. It's kind of a mystery. A little mystery for you. So once I'm done with that, then I go back and I think, oh, I can make splatters with these too. So I get out my fan brush and I just use water on it and go to the same three colors that I used, the orange, the magenta, and the spring green color. And I just splatter. It's kind of hard to see because the fan brush makes pretty small splatters. But trust me, it's cool. Then I decide I'll add some white splatters too, but my gesso is all dried up, so I just added a tiny bit of acrylic paint and added some white splatters. And then of course, gotta do some heat tool. Now remember I said the other part of the challenge is to use hearts. Well, if all you have is a heart punch, you can still make flowers, because hearts are really, a lot of the flowers in the world have a heart-shaped petal. So I have these little scraps left over from my mom's birthday project that I did, and they're just laying there, so I decided to punch them out with my couple little heart punches that I have, and then a little circle punch, and I'm going to make some flowers. I decide that I need to use some ink on the edges though, so I get out my little box of distress inks. Each one of my distress inks has its own pad, and they just fit right on the inside of the bottom of those little teeny tiny ink pads. So I can just like slide them in there and they stay. And then I always know which one goes to which one. It's kind of a crazy thing, but it works really great. So then I just put some tacky glue on the back, and I'm just gluing all the little pointy parts of the hearts onto the back, and that makes a flower. And I'm pretty happy with that, so I decided to do it some more. The tiny hearts that I punched also can make flowers, and you'll see that in a minute. But first I just got out some more little scraps from my color box scrap sorter boxes, and I'm punching some more hearts and some more centers. This scrap is from a jelly print, and it's on a newsprint type paper, so it's a little bit lighter weight. But same process. I'm just going to put the hearts with their little pointy parts on the back and, you know, make a flower. Probably could have deleted some of this, but I know people want to see how it was done, so I just left it in. And now I'm going to try out my smaller centers and my smaller hearts to see how that looks. The two different hearts are different shapes. One of them is long and skinny and a little bit irregular, and the other one is short and fat. So I figure the flowers are going to look slightly different. Of course, I have flower punches and probably maybe some type of a flower die cut, I don't know, but the point was to use the hearts because that was the challenge. So if you have a flower die cut, you probably don't need to do this. But if all you have is some little heart punches, you can make flowers till the cows come home. If you have cows. I don't have cows. I live in Arizona. Although there are cows in Arizona, not in my neighborhood. I don't think the homeowners association would appreciate cows. So now I found a green jelly print, and I'm just punching out some more hearts to make leaves, because lots of leaves are heart-shaped too. And I don't like flowers without leaves. I just think they look weird. So I'm going to audition these onto my tag, see how they look. I'm laying them out, thinking, do I like it? Do I not like it? I don't know. No, I don't like it. Dump it off. Rearrange it. Then I decide what I need is another flower. So I get out some more scraps out of my scrap box. This time a brighter pink. The whole rose quartz color kind of got lost in this whole process. I tend to like the brighter colors, you know. And then I just make another flower. Quick and easy. Now that's better. Now I have an odd number of flowers, which is better visually for most people. Then I decide I'm going to sponge my leaves a little bit to make them stand out some more, because they're kind of fading into the background. Maybe I need a few more. These have green on both sides, so at some point I'm like, which side did I sponge? I usually print on both sides of my jelly prints. And occasionally, when I do that, I have two prints I really, really love, and I can't decide which one to use. But usually there's one that I like better than the other once I get done. So now I'm just gluing everything. Just using good old Aleene's tacky glue. Nothing fancy. Putting the flowers and the leaves on. I'm thinking it looks pretty good. I decide to get a backer. I do the backing on tags for two different reasons. One of them, I really like the look of a frame around tags. I think they look better when they've got, you know, a solid frame around them. And I use different colors. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's just a color that's in the tag, like in this case. The other reason is I usually get paint all over the back of the tag. So it's nice to cover up that mess that I make on the back of the tag, especially if I'm swapping, which most of the tags that I make are for swaps. Now this is my brand new Tim Holtz Tiny Talk, I think it's called, maybe. It's a whole book of little printed out phrases on stickers. What a great idea! I actually saw them. I didn't even know that thing existed until I saw um, Mixed Media Jen on her channel using them. And then I was at a store the other day and I saw it. I'm like, you know what? I want that. That's great for tags and even like little art journal pages and stuff. And it is. It's really cool. There's some that are on white and some that are on black and just like little, positive phrases. Pretty excited about it. So that's what I use. It's the first time I've used it. Now I'm just going in with a little bit of the ink tints again in the same colors, just trying to add a little bit more color to the background and make some of those things stand out a little bit more. And then I'm using my fine tip white Posca acrylic paint pen and adding highlights around everything to try to make them stand out a little bit more. Everything was blending together. The colors were all blending together, in my opinion. So I wanted some extra little punch of white on the tops. And then I just kind of go crazy and splatter with my pen too and add some more splatters. Can't have too many splatters. And then all it needs is some ribbons and fibers and things. I get out a piece of sari silk. It's like recycled saris, and they tie them all together, sew them together, and people will use them for crochet. Has a lot of different colors. And then I get a piece of my seam binding, and I'm just going to color that to match. So I'm using some dilution sprays and some water. Great stuff. You can just color it whatever color you want. I'm having a little trouble with my yellow dilutions. I finally got it cleared out. And then once that's dried up, I'm just cutting them and cutting their little ends to be like pointy the way I like them. And then I think what I'm going to do is take this gold cord and put it through, and then I'm going to use it to pull all the ribbons through the hole. But the hole is too small and it's not working. So I just go ahead and thread them one by one. Well, two of them I thread, and then the hole's too stuffed full. And so I use the pink one to tie the other ones. After I try to thread it, it doesn't work. So I just use it to tie. And that looks fine. I like it. So there you have my Tag It Tuesday tag. I'll put Sherry's blog link in below if you would like to join the link up party. And here are your close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and share so that YouTube knows that you liked it and that they will share it with other people. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.